That's ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous thing he's done all game. He did a bare hand rope swing. Yo, look at that height drop. He took it anyway. I just want to go do this now. All right, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He just did a precision jump to a rope with a huge consequence if you fail. All right, let's discover this together. Oh man, that is some high quality animation. Okay, this is a trailer for like an Assassin's Creed, like in the Middle East. What? I don't know if you guys know, but I'm half Egyptian. So this is actually really cool to me. Very interesting, even just looking at his run, his posture was very forward. That's actually really strange. He's really leaned forward. The parkour looks so good though. It's cool, you can actually see that this is different animation than like a lot of the previous Assassin's Creeds that I've seen. Yes, they're still proficient at parkour, but they're moving in a unique way, unique to this character. So that's really cool. Yeah, okay, so his movement, if you look as he's doing like that rope run, his arm movement is very small. It's cool like that the Assassin's Creed people run with their arms kind of tucked in, but in reality, when you're bouncing on something, you want as much width as possible on your body because that gives you as much kind of balance and physical feedback information. So while it is cool to do the arms like this, it's not actually realistic. Dang, this guy is murking people left and right. Man, I want to be part of a game like that. That's what I want to do more than anything else. Like, I would love to be a part of one of the Assassin's Creed games. So, hey, Ubisoft, give me a call. That lâché looks awesome. That's really good. We've seen that animation a lot in the previous different Assassin's Creed games, and always like that lâché looks really good. Lâché is, again, just going to be where you jump and you swing from something, whether it's a bar or whatever, to something else. That's going to be a lâché. So if we're looking at lâchés and how actually difficult that is, lâchés are going to be a very basic move in parkour. All you need to be able to do is you need to be able to support your weight on a bar. So you need to be able to hang. So things that are going to be good to check to see if you can do that are, can you hang on a bar? Can you do a pull-up? Can you swing on a bar and have enough forearm strength and grip strength to be able to hold onto it and not slip off the bar? Yes, there's bars that are going to be more slippery than other bars. So yes, you want to find something good that you can hang on, or a tree branch or whatever. But I feel like that's a skill that most people could learn. What you don't want to do is you don't want to hang from the bar, try to swing forward, and then have your hands slip off the bar, and then you will fall backwards to the ground onto your tailbone or your back. So again, you always want to know your strength, but that is absolutely a basic move that most people could learn with very little training. That's a big height drop. So like, I'm actually imagining that's probably a 15 to 20 foot drop that this guy is taking. Yeah, so in parkour, we just call that a height drop, where you kind of just drop straight down and you don't land and roll. You just take the impact. In order to take a height drop like that, you need to have really strong everything, ankles, feet, quads, calves, to really be able to absorb that. And then usually when you do a height drop, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can just do it like the super gangster way, where you don't put your hands on the ground. You just absorb the landing into your legs, and then you get up and you carry on like nothing happened. Or the way that it's going to be a little bit more safer is, as your legs are compressing the landing, you bring your hands down and you almost do like a mini catch on the ground with your arms, so that your arms are taking some of the force from the drop. Looking at the height of this jump, if it is like 15 to 20 feet, here's what you don't want to do. Here's what I have a problem with. When you're high up in the air, you don't want to jump up anymore. So people, when they do height drops, they will scoot themselves to the edge of a ledge, and then they will just spill over the edge and just drop straight down to the ground, because you don't want to jump up and add more height and force to the already high drop that you're about to take. So that's where this is a little, again, not technically correct, not how a parkour athlete would actually do this if they were trying to keep themselves safe, is they wouldn't actually jump up into the air. You would kind of just slip your feet over the edge, or you would do like a tiny jump. I would say the biggest height drop that I've done is 15 feet to a roll. It's not fun, it's not comfortable, but I've done it. He has unreal height drops. They are unreal. His legs must be made of titanium. The amount that he can just drop straight down to the ground and absorb with his legs is insane. These strides that Assassin's Creed man is doing is he's kind of jumping and then landing and then pausing a little bit, and then doing a one-legged jump and then landing on one leg, and then doing another one-legged jump, but he's slowing down his momentum. It's fine when he's turning the corner here because you would have to slow down in order to turn this corner. But when you're doing strides where you're just jumping from one foot to the next, you need your speed and your energy because your single leg can only generate so much power. If they're smaller jumps, then yeah, it's fine to be able to kind of absorb your landing a little bit on one leg and then regenerate some of that power that you lost from slowing down. But these are not small jumps. This to me looks a little off because they're not continuous. So the amount of force that he's generating off of these single legs is not accurate. Those are pretty ridiculous single leg jumps that would only be possible if he was actually using his momentum and keeping his energy moving forward seamlessly. As a real parkour athlete looking at this is like, okay, he did do a blind swing around a corner and just hope that something's there. We don't do that in parkour. You always check your surroundings. Is he doing a bare hand rope swing? I don't see any gloves on, sir. I'm gonna say what Sarah says. Sarah always says, sir. That's ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous thing he's done all game. You did a bare hand rope swing. You can't do that. Like you would need some sort of like shackle or something that is gonna slide on the rope. Our hands don't just do that. You would not have hands afterwards. I don't care how tough your hands are. Or maybe my hands just aren't tough enough. Yeah, I think in order to actually do that in real life, you would need something that would slip and slide on rope, or it would need to be a much more vertical rope like you would see on things like Ninja Warrior that people can slide down if they kind of, loosen their grip. But that's not a vertical rope. No, that was a very horizontal rope. So you would definitely need something to like assist you in actually slipping and sliding on it. But it looks absolutely sick in the video game, don't get me wrong. I just want to go do this now. He's just did these big like up single leg strides up those blocks. A parkour athlete would use their hands. Like that's using a lot more energy than you actually need to use to get up those things. You've got hands. Hands are gonna make it quicker. They're gonna save you energy and it's gonna be less just stress on your body overall, which is what parkour athletes optimize for. So he definitely should be using his hands there and not just doing these single leg like box jumps up these bushes unless he's trying to flex. But in terms of like conservation of momentum and energy, then you would definitely be using your hands to assist yourself to get on top of those things. See, that was great. That height drop that he just took where he kind of like spilled over the edge and just dropped straight down. That was super accurate. Don't try this at home. Only video game move. Is he jumping into flower pots now? Come on, dude. That is a nice set of flowers. This man has an addiction into just flipping onto things. Yeah, the motions look good. That wall climb is slick. That looks so good. Ugh. This is what Assassin's Creed does best. Like the wall climb animation and maneuvers look so fluid and so good. Okay, good. We're looking at it again in slow motion. Okay, the first one, that's a little ridiculous. That looked like a 15-foot like kind of acceleration or ascent that he did. You would need like a midpoint. The highest wall climb I've ever done is 13 foot and 1 inch. That 1 inch is very important. I'm sure people have probably done 14 feet. 15 feet seems a little ridiculous, but I might be wrong. Someone might have done that. That's a thick rope. Still, so running on a rope like that, like that's difficult. Man, this climbing looks so good. All right, that's ridiculous. He just did a precision jump to a rope with a huge consequence if you fail. How do ropes work? Ropes, they're either gonna be super taut or they're gonna have a little bit of kind of like elasticity and bend to it. If it is super taut, let's treat that thing like is metal and that when you land on it, it doesn't rock or sway at all. You would need to hit that cylinder at such a perfect angle so that as you compress your legs, you rock up and forward up on top of it. But if you overshoot it at all, well, I guess you could do what we call a sloth. This is essentially a rail precision in parkour, where you're doing a precision jump where you jump with 2 feet to a railing, a small little cylinder. That is doable. The bail for that, if he did something wrong, is he would want to fall backwards, not forwards. And as he fell backwards, wrap both of his hands around the bar and throw one leg over it, kind of like a sloth. That's why we call it a sloth. I guess if he were that confident with that sloth bail, as we call in parkour, then he could feel comfortable enough doing that jump. What you don't want to do is overshoot that, because if you overshoot that, you don't have a bail. You're just taking the height drop on the other side down to the ground. Yo, look at that height drop. He took it anyway. He took the height drop anyway. Okay, how did that guy not notice someone drop down from the sky and kill their friend? These guys are so oblivious. This looks so good though. This looks so cool. So the only thing that I don't know what it would be to jump off of a building and land on a person. Probably fairly untested in reality. Parkour athletes do a lot of these big drops down to the ground. We can do that because we have control over our body. You want to introduce as few variables into your movement as possible. Like wet ground is a variable. Loose objects that you can't fully trust with your body, that's another variable. Other people, that's a variable. Bad shoes, that's a variable. You want to reduce as many variables as possible when doing parkour. So him jumping down onto a person is a significant, uncontrollable variable that he can't control. So that makes that super, super dangerous. Literally, is he landing on the person's shoulders? Is he landing on their back? Is he landing on their hips? That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know how that would translate into real life. And hopefully no one ever finds out what it's like to either land on a person from 20 feet up or to get landed on by another person from 20 feet up. Thank you guys so much for joining me, checking out that Assassin's Creed video and Experts React. Again, my name is Omar Zaki. But if you want to check out more Gamology, you can check them out on Facebook and YouTube. I've done a ton of videos with them. They're so much fun. And I'll see you in the next one.